Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement. Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Join Jeff Parles and Alex White.
One of my favorite plays here is getting 2 touchdowns with Florida State.
Even though the total's been batted down a little bit, I still think it's okay to go under.
Chris Andrews and Vinny Magliulo.
I don't think this is a great Kansas City team. I think the Chargers win this game.
All right.
If you see a hook here, it's not going to last long.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorites.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
Are we sure either of these quarterbacks are good?
Hell no, we're not sure.
Bet your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming live on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
All right, here we go. It is time for another Sports by the Book. We are live from the South Point Hotel and Casino, live from the South Point studio. Make sure and hit that subscribe button. Really helps us out. Sports by the Book YouTube channel. I'm Alex White, alongside Ryan McCormick, producer and host. Really excited about today. The first half, we will talk about 2 college football games, some more Conference USA action tonight. It's hockey season. We've got 3 more on deck. We will break down those 3 games, and then we will go through my top 10 for NFL. Hopefully we have Chris Andrews, sports book director here at the South Point. Hopefully we have his top 10 as well. Then we'll take a look at the MVP odds, see if there's anything that we think is worth jumping in on right now at this time. Let's bring Ryan in. We're going to do a little recap of yesterday. And then second half of the show, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. It means Bruce Marshall is here with us. 6-3 last week in his college football and his Thursday night NFL play he gave us. So really good week for him. Excited to get some more from him today. Ryan, how are you? How was your night in sports betting last night?
Yeah, I mean, we had a loaded card yesterday with NHL and everything that we had going on. We found a way to get middled really hard in that Sharks and Islanders game. That one ended 4-3 with the Islanders winning there. But yeah, it ended up being a good day. I ended up jumping in on Western Kentucky outright. Got the $2 money line there. Should have gotten the under in that one, but it ended up going to overtime. So didn't get that. But it ended up being a solid day. In the NBA, the Rockets almost spoiled the ring ceremony for the Thunder, but they pulled it out in double overtime. And then the Warriors ended up beating the Lakers by 10, even though Luka ended up putting up over 40. So it was a great night, ultimately.
Good. Really good bet by you for that Western Kentucky. Surprising news there before the game without their starting quarterback. But they still found a way. So that was a very good win for them. I did not get there with my FIU 3.5. Just the wrong side, I would say, all around on that one. Couple bad losses in hockey, too. So I did get there with the under in the Penguins game. But the Blues lost in overtime. And then the Panthers and Bruins, I was watching that game, through 2 periods, and it is 2-0 Panthers. Have to go somewhere. By the time I get back to the TV, it is 3-2 Panthers, and I know that my under 5.5 is in a lot of trouble. So that was a pretty good game, though. And Panthers ended up winning at the last second. Did you see that ending?
Yeah. Well, the Bruins decided to wait until the third period to score all 3 of their goals, and then you took the under 5.5, and 5 total goals were scored in the third period alone. So, yeah, just a brutal third period for you in that one. But did manage to go under in Edmonton, Ottawa. I know that a lot of people like the over in that one, but found a way to get under in overtime. And then a couple solid dogs actually went out right.
Yes.
Columbus won in Dallas 5-1. Anaheim won 5-2 on the road in Nashville. So yeah, and the Mammoth beat the Avalanche at home. So pretty solid night for dogs.
And that was a good game too. I mean, there was a lot of energy there. I definitely liked Colorado in that one, but impressive win for Utah, who is playing really good. Yeah, Matt, he really liked Pittsburgh too. Said they were playing well and win 5-1 over Vancouver. Yep. So it is a good time where we can find some value on some dogs in hockey, I will say. So we'll be careful just jumping in on all these favorites, travel, all that stuff. And we've got a lot of backup goalies right now. Yeah. So we really have to take all of that into consideration. Want to thank Matt Neverett again for coming on with us. He will be joining us every Tuesday. A lot of fun yesterday. If you missed it, it was a long episode catching up with him, talking college football, NFL, looking at week 8 in the National Football League, the lines, the totals, everything, the movement, and where we were sitting right now on a Tuesday. But it's Wednesday now, so let's dive into today's action. Let's start with college football. As I mentioned, a couple more Conference USA games. Kind of surprised these totals aren't even higher because the 4 teams we have going tonight are all very pass heavy and not the best of defense so far on the year. So the first one, we've got Middle Tennessee and Delaware. Delaware is coming off a brutal loss to Jacksonville State, where I do believe they are the better team, but there was just so many turnovers. Defense wasn't terrible, but they had found a way to lose that one last week, 38-25. Should be a good matchup here between these two. Middle Tennessee has not been great this year, 1 win, and it happens to be over Nevada. So
He was on Delaware there, but the total has stayed steady at 55. So I guess they're getting two-way action on the total there.
Looking at both quarterbacks, and I mentioned these two both are very pass-heavy. Middle Tennessee is actually passing at the second highest frequency of any FBS school out of 136. So running the ball just 39.4% of the time there. Their quarterback, Nick Variato, completing 62% of his passes, 1,500 yards, 6 touchdowns, 4 INTs. Not much of a running quarterback. Has had 2 rushing touchdowns, though, on the year. And then on the other side, Nick Meneucci, 64% passing completion, 1,879 yards for him, 9 passing touchdowns, 3 INTs. There's the big difference right there in that ratio, especially if they are passing a lot. He's got 166 rushing yards on the year and 6 rushing touchdowns. So stats, quarterback-wise, definitely leans to Delaware here at home. Get right spot. Maybe it's something we could look first half, Ryan. Maybe laying a smaller number, get right spot, coming off of that bad loss where they had a ton of turnovers, and we see the Blue Hens come out hot in that first half.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that. We know Middle Tennessee State is one of the worst teams in this conference, and so them going on the road, wouldn't expect them to come out firing. And so, yeah, I wouldn't fault you. Yeah, we can find a way to play first half here with Delaware.
Trying to just, we'll be conservative, of course, maybe even just half a unit. Trying to have some action on a Wednesday without overdoing it. We also are not forced to bet on every single game. We just want to break them down, give you some good information, and put out some options there to potentially make some bets here. Let's go to the second game. Missouri State against New Mexico State. The interesting thing, too, is both of these two matchups, they didn't play last year, neither of them, because we have teams moving up from the FCS, including Missouri State here. 3 wins on the year to 3 losses. And New Mexico State 2-4 on the year. But I will say, I like what I've seen from Tony Sanchez's team, and they really should have won that game last week against Liberty. Got to check on their special teams status, though. Kicker did miss a couple so far this year, and that could be crucial in these tight games. So I like what I've seen there. We also need to check on the starting quarterback for Missouri State, Jacob Clark. Really good pocket passer for them. Haven't seen him. Deuce Bailey, the freshman, has played the last game at least against Middle Tennessee. So we want to check his status. He was day-to-day. That is Jacob Clark, the starting quarterback for Missouri State. So far on the year, 65 passing completion percentage, 1,270 yards, 8 touchdowns, 3 INTs for him. So he would be very valuable to have in this one. Another team that does pass a lot, both of these two teams actually do, which kind of makes it tough for New Mexico State because they are better against the run. But still, I like what I've seen from their offense, and they were really good against Liberty. And Logan Fife is their quarterback, 1,382 yards on the year, 6 touchdowns, 3 INTs, 100 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, and they did return their star wide receiver, TK King, last week, and that definitely helped a lot against Liberty. So pick them right now, all of that for basically a coin flip game between these two, and I do agree with the market there. If Jacob Clark's not going, though, I definitely like New Mexico State to find a way to get this win after losing a heartbreaker last week. Ryan, anything for you? And then total 51 on this one.
No, I absolutely agree with you on the side. I think New Mexico State wins this game at home, and that's the important factor. New Mexico State has won all 3 games so far this year at home and lost their 3 games all on the road. It is back-to-back road games for Missouri State. They won last week in a 22-20 fashion, so a field goal game, and last week New Mexico State lost on the road 30-27, a field goal game. So if this is a field goal game, then not having their kicker is going to be a big important factor. But I don't think it'll end up being a field goal game. So I'm confident in New Mexico State to get it done here at home.
I like it. Leaning both home teams today here on this Wednesday for us. Just Delaware's a little bit too rich at 9, but maybe looking first quarter, first half there. But both Ryan and I on New Mexico State tonight. Let's go to some hockey here. We got 3 on deck. As I mentioned, some backup goalies. We actually have one goalie making his NHL debut, which I talked to you before the show. I said, I don't think we can treat this like Major League Baseball with the pitchers, especially because an injury, right? And that is why he is getting this start. But we will follow closely and see how he does tonight. Let's start with that first game in New Jersey with the Devils.
Yeah, the total's sitting at 5.5 with juice to the over. The Devils are the home favorite, -135, getting plus 15 on the buyback if you like the Wild.
So New Jersey is on a nice 5-game winning streak, but now they are going to Nico Daz as their starting goalie. Gustafson on the other side, clearly the more experienced goalie. But we have seen Daz. We saw him last year. He had to play his career numbers. 898 save percentage and a 2.98 goals against average. So not terrible at all. And I've talked about Gustafson kind of struggling to start the year, 3.04 goals against average. I really have nothing here because we got a backup goalie. I don't really know how I want to treat this, but the Devils 5-1. I think they can play good here for Nico Daz. On the other side, we're waiting to see the Wild really turn it on again, right? Just 3-1 on the season. So could this be a good opportunity to get a plus price and Minnesota find a way to win this one? That's the big question there between these two.
You had asked me before show about the goalie thing, and the only reason why I said it doesn't, not as much of a factor, is because I think pitchers, you're the one directly impacting the game. You are the one throwing the ball at the batter and can be put in play off of you. When it's a goalie, yeah, you're the one stopping the puck from going in the net behind you, but you're also relying on the 5 guys you have in front of you to either clear the lane or however it may be. So it's more, you're more reliant on your team to step up for you, which I definitely think this Devils team is capable of. So I'd be more inclined to be taking them at home and going against the Wild, who have kind of struggled to put it together to start this year.
Well, and when you look at the numbers here, 23rd right now, Minnesota is in goals per game, 2.71, compared to the Devils, who are 4th, averaging 3.8 goals per game. So playing really good hockey right now. Maybe that is a stay off, or I mean, I don't usually jump in overs for Minnesota games, but maybe it's even getting over that 5.5. Have to adjust, which I made it 5.5, but adjust with the backup goalie in for the Devils. So that's a lean. Nothing really strong in that one. And honestly, it might be the theme of the day, but we'll go through them, talk through them, and see if we find anything. Let's go to Buffalo here.
Yeah, this next one's a full pick 'em. The total is 6 flat, and this one is 110 either way. So if you like the Wings, 110. If you like the Sabres, 110.
So this is the actual debut with Colton Ellis going for the Sabres. Kind of, I forgot because how well Alex Lyon has been, but Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen has not played yet this season, and that is why we are seeing Colton Ellis get the start here. This is his NHL debut. 25 years old, in 42 regular season outings with AHL, 2.63 goals against and a 922 save percentage. So we'll see how he does stepping up in this one, going up against a Red Wings team that is playing really good. They've won 5 in a row now. They're 5-1-0 on the year. I also said this to you before the show. I can't get used to seeing John Gibson there, but he is, and he's playing well. 2.98 goals against average for him and an 873 save percentage, so not the best, but he is 2-1 on the year. So it would be a lean to the Red Wings here at Pick'em. It's a pretty good price, but Buffalo's fun. They're a young, good team, and they've been playing feisty to start the year.
Absolutely, and we've seen plenty of goals in their games at home, or I guess not necessarily plenty, but got it 6th in the last one, 3-0 in a win against Florida, and then 8-4 in their win against Ottawa. So they're capable of scoring goals, but I'm on the Wings in this one. I like them on the road, and I'm going to be splitting the unit and taking them on the puck line, getting that plus 210.
Very good. Confident in that one, too.
Yeah.
Trusting the former Ducks goalie here now with the Red Wings. Last but not least, Calgary Flames hosting the Canadiens.
Yep.
I hate to see, I'm shocked to see the Flames 1-6, but it's been a struggle for them so far this year.
Well, this is something we're going to have to get used to seeing, is them being a home underdog. Minus 125 on the Habs. Total is 6 with juice to the under.
And I think that number is actually even a little short here. Might be 2 back-to-back road teams. Now, this is the first leg of 2 for the Canadiens. They will go to Edmonton tomorrow. I don't know if that should scare us a little bit there. It could be a look ahead. I don't know if we do that in hockey, but Sam Montembeault, I believe, is expected to get the start tonight. So they will have Montembeault in net for this one, which gives me even more reason to like Montreal. And you got to go against the Flames. Losing 6 in a row, have not won since that first game. So I think it's a cheap price. I think they should be closer to $1.40 on the road here. So I'll put that one definitely on my list and in my bet slip.
I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did with the Wings. I'm going to take the Habs on the money line and on the puck line tonight, getting $2 against the Flames. I know that the Flames covered the puck line the last time we tried it against the Jets on Monday, but that was the second puck line they've covered in 7 games this year. So going back to it, Montreal, who has been good this year, and winners of, they're 5-2 this year. No overtime games, or 2 overtime wins so far this season. I'll be going with the Habs and the Wings tonight.
All right. Well, we need them to get a win here too, because we got Dwayne Colucci joining us on the show tomorrow, and they will be in action again. So we want him happy.
Yep.
And giving us some good hockey picks again tomorrow. He was on fire last Thursday, gave us a lot of winners there. We're going to go to our top 10 here. I believe that is it for today's action. NBA, full slate. Ryan kind of talked about yesterday's 2 games. I do not have anything betting-wise yet on the hardwood. Ryan, anything for you, or should we go to NFL?
I'm waiting for lineups to get finalized before I even take a look. It's just the NBA is too hard, for me at least, to figure out plays this early when not knowing when guys are playing or not.
Completely agree. And as always, just a reminder, NBA is a great in-game sport to bet on because the swings. So as long as you're watching, kind of get a feel for the game, and you can jump in and get much better numbers than those pre-flop numbers. All right, let's go to some NFL. We got updated power ratings here on a Wednesday. I will start it off. Excited to go through these. There's a couple that might surprise people, but ultimately, I think we all know who are the top teams right now in the NFL. I did add Lamar Jackson back into my Baltimore Ravens number, expecting him to go this weekend. Still have to wait for official news, as we did get official news that Jaden Daniels will be out again this week. But with that being said, the Ravens still did not make it back into my top 10 with adding him in. But staying the same, 1 and 2. Now, I will say the Chiefs have definitely closed that gap against the Lions. It is 1A and 1B pretty much for these two. Detroit Lions, number 1 for me. Kansas City Chiefs, number 2. Number 3 is the Los Angeles Rams. I am very impressed with this team. I had to bump them up quite a bit with that big win over Jacksonville. I had a lean to the Jags taking the points there, and the Rams covered very easily without one of their star wide receivers in Puka Nacua. So they get a nice bump there. Number 4 on my list is the Seattle Seahawks, who also bumped up a little bit. I had both the Rams and the Seahawks 5 last week. Now they come in at number 3 and number 4. Impressive win at home on Monday night for Seattle. Really good in all 3 phases right now, the Seahawks. Then we've got number 5, the Indianapolis Colts. They go from 4 to 5 for me. So they were in my top 5 last week as well. I think Seattle and the Rams just jumped them. I didn't knock them down. They had a good win over the Chargers this weekend, but still sitting right there in my top 5. Number 6 and number 7 are very close here with the Buffalo Bills and the Green Bay Packers. Feel better about my Packers falling back a little bit after adjusting from this weekend because they haven't looked great. I mean, we've got the power rating here for them. Haven't really covered a whole lot, though, playing in these really tight games. So I feel better with them falling at number 7 for this week's top 10. Number 8, the Eagles make it back into the top 10. I had them 11th last week. Really good get-right win for them this past weekend, and I think we learned a lot. We saw their offense come alive again. A.J. Brown, everybody got involved. 28-22 win over a very good Minnesota team and Minnesota defense, of course. So they are back in my top 10, where I think I got to imagine they will probably be for the rest of the season. We'll see what happens. Number 9, Denver Broncos. They were 5th last week. This team has just moved all around for me with teams jumping them and falling behind. But Denver found a way to win, did not cover. I had them covering pretty easily in that game against the Giants, and they were lucky to get the win there in the 4th quarter. So made the adjustments. Giants bump up a little bit, and Denver had to adjust them back at least 1.5 points here, and now they fall to number 9. Number 10 for me is the San Francisco 49ers. Chris has talked about the Niners a lot, and offensively and defensively, and the efficiency that we have seen from this team, even without their starting quarterback in Brock Purdy, and I agree with him. Now they jump up. They were 13th last week for me, and now they are in my top 10, just finding ways to get it done, playing good, clean football. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on them because, of course, they do have the injuries on the defensive side, and they might catch up to them. But that kind of leaves the 2 teams that fell out of my top 10 last week, which was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are right behind the Niners, and then the Washington Commanders were right there as well. Injuries just to both of these teams, and we saw it catch up to Tampa Bay this past week against the Lions. We'll see. It's not a huge difference. It's about 0.5 there from 10 to 13. And then Chargers and Ravens are next. We'll see what we get from those 2 this week. But both of those 2 probably would be in the top 10, but the injuries that we have seen throughout the year and the losses that they have taken because of them. So that is my updated top 10 power ratings going into week 8 of the NFL. Ryan, I'm not sure if we heard from Chris Andrews yet, if we are getting his top 10, or we'll have to wait till Friday to chat with him.
We do not have his top 10, and we are waiting to get his efficiency ratings.
Yes.
So we will be getting that hopefully in the next couple hours, and we'll have it ready for you guys tomorrow. Definitely by Football Frenzy on Friday at noon. But just a quick mention, if you haven't liked the video already and you hit that like button, you'll see a little football animation just for some little fun there. And then we also have a poll for you today talking about the Heisman Trophy. Who is your current pick to win the Heisman Trophy at the end of this year? Fernando Mendoza plus 340, Ty Simpson plus 350, Marcel Reed at 10-1, and Dante Moore at 14. So go ahead and vote in that, and we'll update you on our viewers' results towards the end of the show.
Looking forward to those results. I am very interested to hear what people have to say about the Heisman, which feels more wide open than a lot of years. So we'll see what happens there. If you have somebody else in mind too, go ahead and drop it in the comments, because we'll read those off as well. Anything in the comments right now that we need to check in on?
A lot of the Fernando Mendoza love, of course, from the Indiana fan in the room. And then just a good back and forth. We got Reek Vision, Attila, Dean Hilt, Vicarious Vegas. So, keep chiming in. Let us know what you think.
Very good. Love having everybody in there, definitely. And as Ryan mentioned, Friday, 2-hour show, Football Frenzy, noon to 2. First hour, all college football. Second hour, all NFL. It's been great this year, and I love that Chris added something new. Has a defensive and offensive ranking that he is looking at. He hasn't told us exact metrics that he is tracking week by week, but it has been really cool to see the changes and his updates every week. So for nothing else, come join us for that. It gives you some great information. Looking forward to that NFL weekend. And then we'll have college picks for you, as always, going through all the big games. And we'll have some college football picks for you in about 5 minutes with Bruce Marshall joining us here at the desk. But before we do that, we're going to check in with our MVP, easy for me to say, for the NFL and where that has moved. I'm very curious what our graphic says and taking a look at FanDuel and these other books out there, what we have.
Yeah, so last week we looked at it, and Patrick Mahomes was your favorite, and he is now the heavier favorite at plus 125 now. Baker Mayfield moves from the second to the third. 7-1 on DraftKings, 9-1 at FanDuel. Josh Allen moves back into second. Drake May, Matthew Stafford, and Jared Goff remain in their 4, 5, 6 slots. But Dak Prescott and Daniel Jones both jump over the group of Jordan Love, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, even Jaden Daniels was on that side of the board last week. But now we've got guys. Now that we're getting later into the year, we're losing the quarterbacks that shouldn't have been in the conversation anyway, and we're getting into some of the skill players that won't necessarily get the respect in terms of most valuable player, because it's a quarterback award. But yeah, Jonathan Taylor's creeping up at 60-1 now. Jackson Smith and Jigba at 100-1. Jamar Chase 150. Bijan Robinson 200, and Jahmyr Gibbs over on FanDuel is 300-1.
Do you think this year, where it is a little bit wide open, we could see a different position get this award?
Unless the Colts get the 1 seed in the AFC, it's a quarterback award. I don't think if the Colts get the 1 seed, it's Jonathan Taylor's winning MVP. I have no doubt in my mind. But if the Colts only win the AFC South and it manages to be the Chiefs or the Bills at the top of the AFC, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. And in terms of the NFC, we know that the Bucs schedule kind of breaks out for them to be favorable and have Baker Mayfield in position to win this award and be the 1 seed. But the injury question marks are there. We don't know when we'll get Mike Evans back. Mika Ibuka should be back this week. Expecting that. Chris Godwin should be back. Still don't know Bucky Irving's status, but you see the pricing, a 2-horse race below 5-1. I think that is going to be how it plays out. Granted, Matthew Stafford may have an argument if Puka Nacua stays healthy.
Yep.
Jared Goff, absolutely, with the Lions being. We've got the updated futures odds as well, and the Lions are now the second favorite to win the Super Bowl. So Jared Goff could have an argument as well. But for Dak Prescott, Jordan Love, they'll get the stats, but I don't think they'll really have an argument.
Dak Prescott is really interesting, though, because he is playing as good as anyone and definitely has the numbers up there. I'm curious if now could be a good time. do we think the Chargers can turn this around and stack some wins? And maybe now's a good time to take Justin Herbert because of his injuries on the O-line, and, that could help his storyline and help the case there. He is putting up the numbers, definitely, and they are definitely throwing the ball a ton to where he could continue to put up the numbers. Is that one that would interest you, or is there anybody else that's kind of down the board?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it if the Chargers are able to win the games that they're supposed to, and then you get into week, let's see, 18, 17, 16, 15. So they have the Eagles in week 14 and the Chiefs in week 15. If they win tomorrow against the Vikings, they should win in Nashville against the Titans. They should win against the Steelers. It's going to be a tough one in Jacksonville because the Jags are going to be good, or have shown that their offense is capable. And they've got their bye. Then they host the Raiders. Then they got the Eagles and Chiefs, and then finish the year with the Cowboys, Texans, Broncos. So if you end the year at 11-6, 12-5, which you're playing kind of perfect football to end the year and losing those two games to the Eagles and Chiefs, absolutely Justin Herbert will be in the conversation, and 45 to be a 1 will be an absolutely great price. But do I trust the Chargers to get it done and get to that point and be 12-5? Not really. I think they have too many question marks on the defensive side, let alone the offensive side, and being able to stay healthy. But I would not. I won't be playing. Granted, Justin Herbert is a top quarterback in this league, but I won't be playing it.
You did make one good point, though, in there. If I were to, it really just have to get over this first game tomorrow against the Vikings. And then they got a nice 3 games that I definitely think are winnable, where he could put up some good numbers, and then if nothing else, it would have good closing value, right? Because that number would definitely fall. But then it does get tough there at the end, so you just be praying.
Yeah.
But,
which, I mean, at the end of the year, you kind of are in this market anyway, or really for the whole year.
Well, and as what you started out with, Patrick Mahomes is now plus 125.
Yeah.
And if he just stays right there and the Chiefs continue to do what they're doing, then it might be his award once again.
Yep.
So, very good. Do we want to take a look at the updated for the Super Bowl odds just quickly before we take a break?
Sure. We can do it. We can do an update there. We got Super Bowl first, Sean? Yep. Super Bowl first. All right. We got Chiefs favored plus 475 here at the South Point, and the Lions follow them plus 650. And the only other 3 teams beneath 10-1 would be the Bills, Rams, and Packers.
Okay. Very good. There are your updated odds. If you are watching us on YouTube, you can see them right here on the graphic, but these are at the South Point. So come stop by if you see anything that you like.
There are a reason the prices are this way at the bottom of the right, but it is funny to see some of those teams jump from the hundreds to now the thousands, 5,000 to 1 on the Jets, Titans, and Saints. Don't place your money on those, but just funny to see. If we want to go over to the AFC just to take a look and update you guys on where it is, Chiefs plus 275 to be crowned AFC champions yet again. Bills follow at 3-1. The Colts are now the third favorite, plus 450, followed by the Broncos, 750, and then the Ravens and Chargers are the other ones that are 10-1.
Wow. Ravens 10-1 still, even with only one win. This week means a lot, right?
Absolutely.
They've got to get this one done. And we don't even know if Lamar Jackson is playing.
Right. Yeah, they've got the Bears this week, and then again a short week playing on Thursday against Miami. So, but yeah, there are your AFC odds. And if we go to the NFC odds now, we have co-favorites in the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Rams at 3-1, followed by the Packers at 4-1, Eagles at 5-1, and then 2 more teams join them beneath 10-1, Niners and Seahawks. The two other teams in the NFC West at 8-1.
Got to give Jeff props there. He loved the Rams going into the year as long as Matthew Stafford was healthy. And Chris Andrews told us he had a source that said he was going to be. And look at their odds now. And I really do think they have a shot there. So interesting. Yeah. NFC is competitive. It's a lot of good teams in there.
Yep.
Just quickly, too, before we take that break, I want to remind everybody that World Series starts on Friday. We've got all the odds here at the South Point. We've got game one, where the Dodgers opened $1.45 over the Blue Jays. Total open 7.5. Juice to the under, -125. And then we have exactas here. You can bet Dodgers in 4. You can bet Blue Jays in 4. You can bet Blue Jays in 7 at 11-2. However you want to bet the World Series, we've got the options here at the South Point. Come check it out. I'm excited. Tomorrow and Friday, we'll jump in and really break down the World Series more before game one on Friday. We'll also get Dwayne Colucci's thoughts tomorrow on the show. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, Bruce Marshall joins us to talk about week 9 already in college football. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Once you've satisfied your hunger, get ready for more of the hottest casino games in Vegas. Our 24-hour, 30-table non-smoking poker room proudly hosts all the most popular poker games with a variety of betting limits. Visit the poker room for a schedule of daily tournaments. Whether you're going to hold 'em or fold 'em, the best place for poker is at South Point Casino. You'll notice that our craps tables are usually the loudest in the casino. If you've never played, join one of our free craps lessons to find out what makes this game so exciting. Check with the craps dealer for schedules and give it a roll. Bingo is also an exciting way to spend your time. We offer 7 sessions of bingo every day. Bingo! And each session includes a cash ball jackpot, 12 bingo games, a progressive double action game, and a $10,000 bonus coverall. Electronic units are available. If you haven't played bingo with us, give it a try today. Guests can also get in on the action at our one-of-a-kind race and sports books. 2 separate rooms designed to maximize your experience and comfort. Our sports book, with over 400 seats, puts you right in the middle of the action, 24 hours a day. The friendly ticket writers are happy to help, and it's conveniently located next to the famous Lamar Deli, where you'll find supersized portions of delicious deli items like roast beef, pastrami, and Reuben sandwiches, or soups, salads, and pizza. Plus spectacular desserts fit for a king. And right next door is the race book. Over 150 seats, each with its own TV screen. There are 16 interactive player terminals, so you can bet right from your seat.
Back to it here on Sports by the Book. We are live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. I'm Alex White. Ryan McCormick joins me as well. And now on the desk, Bruce Marshall, who joins us every Wednesday to go over some college football picks for the weekend. Bruce, you're not wearing one of your shirts of a team that you're betting on. You're wearing Champions League here.
Yeah, well, it's another team I'm betting on. Real Madrid today. We got Juventus in the Champions League coming up at the 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Pacific time. But that is today. That is Wednesday. So, yeah, I mean, I'm running out of college football shirts, so I might as well wear. And like I told you, my wife is from Spain, so there's a real vested interest in me wearing this one as well.
Very good. I was wondering, I mean, you did impress us with how many different college football shirts you're wearing each week.
I'm running out of them, though. Later in the season, we get.
Hey, great week last week. I believe 6-3 from the picks that you gave us. So not too shabby at all. But let's get into this week. You're going to start us off with a Sun Belt pick here. Monroe versus Southern Miss. Southern Miss, top of the West right now with Troy 3-0 in conference. They're an 11.5-point favorite. Total 50.5.
Ay. What's going on with ULM right now? I mean, they are having all sorts of problems. Look at these last 2 games. Troy, Coastal Carolina getting whipped. Coach Vincent is changing his he's moving his quarterbacks in and out. It's not a good situation at ULM. It is just the opposite with Southern Miss. Alex, we've talked about them, I think, a little bit before this fall. Charles Huff comes over from Marshall. You know, his point spread record since last year, 14-3-1. And Marshall, of course, won the Sun Belt last year, and before he took the job before the bowl game, and he took most of his team with him, and he came down to Southern Miss. He gave him a nice bump up in salary. He took a lot of his team with him down to Hattiesburg, including the quarterback, Braylon Braxton. How about this? Since last year, now he transferred in from Tulsa, 33 TD passes, just 6 picks. That's not too bad since last year, in a year and a half. And one other note in this game, you want to know why Southern Miss is doing well and on top the division, like you say? +9 turnover margin. The other way, we got -5 for ULM, so you got a 14 difference in turnover margin here, favoring Southern Miss, and they are a great point spread team. I'm going to lay it with the Golden Eagles. Let's do it. Let's ride this Charles Huff train a little longer.
I do just want your opinion here, Bruce, on when you think it's okay to lay that many points and when you kind of shy away.
No, I would go up to 2 touchdowns with this one. I mean, look, because ULM is losing contact in recent weeks, and they're the fact that Southern Miss can make these turnovers so quickly, giving themselves a short field, they can extend this margin. Listen, if Troy and Coastal Carolina can get beyond 2 TDs over ULM, so can Southern Miss.
All right, well, get to it now, though, I would say, before it moves up closer to 13 there.
Yes.
Let's get to Mid-American here. You're giving us some action. Ball State Cardinals, 2-1 in conference play. Northern Illinois, winless so far in conference play, 1-6 on the year. They're a 5-point favorite at home, and the total is 41. Of course, their defense has still been really good.
Yeah, it might be the wrong team favorite here. I don't think Ball State's that bad. They got a new coach, Mike Uremovich, came in from Butler, where he did pretty well the last few years. Had been in the MAC most of his career before that. He looks like he's got these guys on the right track. Now, they do have a couple of bad efforts. That opening game against Purdue, they got blanked. They also got blanked a few weeks ago by Western Michigan, but they have been making progress. 42 points against Akron last week. Not bad. Kelly, the quarterback, serviceable, dual threat. Ashley, the running back, over 100 yards rushing last week. So they've got some pop offensively. And they got no pop at Northern Illinois. I think we might have talked about them last week, Alex. They are down right near the bottom of the nation. All these offensive stats, just above UMass in points per game, scoring about 11 per game. Last week's 21 points against Ohio U. That was the high water mark of the year, but that was a misleading score. They can be flattered by that because Ohio U was way ahead. They don't have a quarterback, and they don't have a downfield passing game. And Coach Hammock, this year, he's had to go to the freshman quarterback a couple weeks ago. He went back to Holtz last week. They just don't have any offense. They should not be laying points. I think Ball State could win this game outright, but to be safe, let's just play them on the point spread this week and see what happens in beautiful DeKalb, Illinois.
Taking the 5 there with the Cardinals. Cannot blame you. It has been rough there for Coach Hammock. Let's go to the Big Ten. We're going to start with where Big Noon Fox is, and our friend Chris Felica from the show. Are you believing Signetti? He's kind of using that reverse psychology, talking about how good UCLA has been since the coaching change and kind of pumping it up for his team. Indiana laying 25.5 at home. 54.5 is the total.
Oh, I think Coach Signetti is gospel, whatever he says. I would not question anything he's doing right now, and nor would I question his agent for giving him that nice extension there. Good for him. I love guys over 60 getting a jackpot like that. So good for Signetti. But I'll tell you, the most refreshing story of the year is UCLA. What's going on there? And I really think Tim Skipper, now I don't think they can win this game, but I'll tell you what, the difference, the mindset, UCLA is going back there thinking it's going to win. Now that might be crazy. This reminds me of the Rocky movie, the first one. Remember when Apollo Creed was overlooking Balboa and Duke, his trainer, said, look, this guy thinks it's a fight. UCLA thinks it can win this game. Now, they're probably not going to, but they are playing better. They have responded to Coach Skipper. Nico is capable of doing some things. And the one thing I'd caution about Indiana, as good as they are, and I love Indiana, and I think Mendoza really could win the Heisman.
Yeah.
It is tough to go out and win 4 or 5 TD spreads, cover that every week. And we noticed last week they couldn't get there against Michigan State. That's a big number. And UCLA just beat Michigan State pretty bad, too. Now you're laying almost 4 touchdowns again. It is hard just to go out there and romp like that every week. I'm going to take UCLA plus. They won't win, but plus this many points, I think worth a look.
Yeah, and of course, Jonathan Smith, that's Michigan State, right? Am I saying that name right? We were pretty fortunate there to get the cover with that field goal, but it happened against Indiana. So taking the 25.5 here with UCLA. Keeping it in the Big Ten, Cornhuskers, 7.5-point favorite coming off of that loss against Minnesota. Hosting Northwestern, total 44.
Maybe you or Ryan or somebody else here can explain to me now all the Matt Rule love. I used to be a big Matt Rule fan, but I am wondering now if this is sort of some misplaced affection for him, because it has been a long time since Rule had a team that did something. We got to go back 2019 at Baylor. His NFL experience didn't work too well with the Panthers. We're not going to hold that against him. That was a bad team and he inherited, but he didn't make anything happen there. And let's face it, I mean, Nebraska kind of spinning its wheels. I think this team is spectacularly overrated, and I blame the national media for some of this.
Yep.
There's this love of getting Nebraska and the Miami and Florida State back into being primo teams. Look, it has been a generation since Nebraska was any good. It's almost 30 years since Tom Osborne was there. Frank Solich's the one really good team he had got to the title game. That's 25 years ago almost. I mean, they're just not that good, and we saw it against Minnesota last week. And listen, I think David Braun's doing a really good job with Northwestern. This is a gnarly defense. Preston Stone doesn't have huge numbers, but he can do more at quarterback than they've certainly had last year at Northwestern. And they're looking like they're going to be bowl eligible. They've had a couple of good efforts in a row here, and the defense is playing very well. I think they can win this game outright, but certainly plus the 7.5. I'll roar with the Wildcats in Lincoln, and I don't know. These Matt Rule to Penn State rumors, that could be distracting, but I would think that's going to tamp down a little bit here. I'm not sure Penn State really wants him. We'll see.
Yep. 7.5, great number. Getting there with the dog. Let's do one Big 12 game. Sunflower Showdown between Kansas State and Kansas. The Jayhawks are a 3-point favorite at home. Total 56.5.
Alex, the last time Kansas beat Kansas State, I think you were in grade school, and the coach was Mark Mangino. The year was 2008. George W. Bush was still in the White House the last time Kansas beat Kansas State. So that's 16 straight wins. Now, when Bill Snyder came back in 2009, he had made a point of it after he got to Kansas State. It took him a couple years, not just to beat Kansas, but to grind them into dust. And he really dominated Kansas for the rest of his first term there. He retired, came back. Kansas got the best of Ron Prince, his successor. As soon as Snyder came back, they started to beat Kansas again. 2009, they haven't lost since. Kleiman, he's 6-0 against Kansas too. Now, I had a couple of close calls the last couple of years, but they still won. So now you're getting points you're trying to beat a team for the 17th straight time, and you're getting points. I think that looks like a spot for Kansas State, but not just that. K-State hasn't played bad, Alex, since that bye week. They've had 3 point spread covers. They should be 3-0 straight up. They never should have lost that game at Baylor, but they bounced back pretty good against TCU. Watch Avery Johnson. Now, they seem to have made some adjustments with him, and credit Matt Wells and Kleiman for getting him to run a little bit more. He makes plays on the move. You're seeing more carries for him in recent weeks. I think he was too anchored in the pocket the first month of the season when they were losing. And K-State's offense is moving again now because he makes plays on the move. I think Kansas has been as disappointing as K-State was in the first month. I know they're 4-3, not a bad record here, but that was a poor effort against Texas Tech last week. They let that lead. They disintegrated that game against Missouri. I think K-State, let's make it 17 in a row. You're getting 3 points.
Wow.
Why not?
I cannot believe that many in a row, and that I didn't even realize that. So getting 3 here with the Wildcats on the road. Let's go to the SEC. I want to start with Alabama. Me and you and Chris, we were all in agreement. We all liked Bama last week against Tennessee. Got there. I think Bama's shaping up to be the best in the SEC right now. Now you got to lay 12 if you like them this week against a South Carolina team that has been struggling. Total 47.5. Is this too many here for the Roll Tide?
I don't think it's too many. Although Shane Beamer has risen up in the past at times, but I think something's wrong at South Carolina this year. And, oh, by the way, these rumors about Shane Beamer going back to Virginia Tech, which were kind of quiet for a while, like that's well off in the future after they move Brent Pry out. All of a sudden, they're talking about that more. And starting right now, this is going to become more of a distraction for South Carolina. I think it's going to happen at the end of the season. But what's happening this season with South Carolina, not good. Among several offenses and coordinators who aren't pulling their weight in the SEC this season. That would include Derek Nix at Auburn, maybe Hamden at Kentucky, Kyle Flood at Texas, so that's Sarkisian calling plays there too. Mike Shula has been a disaster for South Carolina calling plays here. Last year, Dow Loggins, the offensive coordinator, he was in sync with Lenora Sellers. He got him in positions where he could make plays on the move, where he could improvise. And now Loggins, he went to App State. He's the head coach now. Mike Shula, longtime name. He had been Alabama's coach at one point, NFL career. And we know his dad, Don Shula, he had been on staff as an analyst. Now he's been promoted this year as the offensive coordinator. He's not doing it. And look at Sellers' number. I mean, he was one of the Heisman favorites along, with Arch and Nussmeier from in the SEC and Sellers. They're nowhere to be found in the race right now. This offense is bad. Last week, 7 points against Oklahoma. I know Oklahoma's defense is good. Last year, that was a game that South Carolina won 35-9. They're going to miss a bowl this year because you got Ole Miss and A&M after this one, and this Beamer talk going to Virginia Tech, it's going to get really distracting now. I'm going to lay it with Alabama. I think Ty Simpson's coming around really nice. He might be your Heisman winner, and they're winning on the road now.
Yeah.
That was a problem last year, but, you win at Georgia, you win at Missouri. They've gotten over those yips on the road.
Ryan and I were just talking about that yesterday. It might be the best number we're going to see for Ty Simpson from here on out if they keep rolling the way they have been.
Could be.
In your opinion, do you think Virginia Tech is a better spot for Shane Bieber than being in the SEC?
Yes, because the heat, you could get in the hot seat really quick in the SEC. And really, he's only had one really good year at South Carolina. And, you could fall back in trouble there. I think a good ACC job is great.
Yeah.
That's his alma mater. His dad was coach there. The fit is just too nice. And the pressure is a little bit less, but you can still win at Virginia Tech. So, yes, I think if I were him, I'd do it.
I agree. All right, 2 more SEC matchups here and some good ones. We had a favorite flip here. Auburn opened the favorite, but we've seen Arkansas be very competitive under Bobby Petrino now, the interim head coach there, taking over after being the OC. 1-point favorite, Arkansas here at home.
Wow. Boy, there's a lot of different moving pieces here. And let's talk about, Auburn first Hugh Freeze. Boy, he's in it feeling some heat. I do a show in Memphis, Brett Norsworthy, for years. And I asked Brett last week, what's the deal with Freeze? And he said, if he doesn't beat Missouri, he said, Oral Roberts couldn't save him. He's feeling the pressure. But I will say this. They've had 4 games in a row they've lost, all against ranked teams, Alex. They could have won every one of those games.
Agreed.
The problem is on offense here. And you could blame Derek Nix if you want, and I will. The coordinator, and Jackson Arnold just has not stepped up. But man, they are right there, and these are some quality teams. They could have won these last 4 games. Georgia, Missouri, Texas A&M, all sorts of good teams. Oklahoma. So they're right there. I know Arkansas has played better for Petrino, and that offense is pretty potent. And Taylor Green right near the top total offense stats nationally, but the defense leaves something to be desired. Big effort. I thought that was their effort last week for the ambush. And this situation, Petrino's not going to get the job there. Although he's auditioning for other jobs. There's a lot of jobs opening up. So Petrino could land somewhere next year. But this is going to start being more difficult for Arkansas to stay focused here as the season comes to a conclusion. And I don't think Freeze is dead yet. If he can get up to 6 wins before he plays Alabama, he's got a shot to keep his job, I think. So I'm going to give Auburn a shot here.
Of the two, definitely the more desperate team. From what you've heard, do the players like Hugh Freeze? Do they want to play for him?
Yeah, they're still playing hard for him.
Yeah.
You talk to some people at Ole Miss, they're not as high on Freeze as they might be at Auburn, and they are very upset at Auburn right now. They want to win some of these games. Whether if Freeze sticks around, he can't keep Nix as his offensive coordinator, but it's less than 50-50 that he keeps his job. But the efforts are still there. And like I said, they could have easily won that game against Missouri last week. And then and they could have beat Georgia the week before. We'll see.
Yeah, Georgia kind of just fell apart second half. We talked about that last week, though, as well. All right, last SEC matchup here. Vandy, they got it done. They won and covered as a favorite. Everybody talking about them in the dog role. But now they're the favorite again here. 2.5 points against Missouri. And this is where game day will be.
Yeah, my favorite place, Nashville. And we've talked about Vandy before, Alex, and I think we both said it earlier. I think they're beyond the point now where this is a one-off, where this is a fluke. Oh, okay, Vandy's just got hot here. No, this team is really good. Now, Clark Lee has made some really good moves, and a lot of people, I know a lot of Vandy people, family members, they were really down on Clark Lee for a while, but he's made some really good moves. Obviously, getting Diego Pavia out of the portal from New Mexico State, that was the catalyst. He also got his old coach, Jerry Kill, who had retired at New Mexico State. Then he brought him out of retirement, bringing him on staff. Great. Tim Beck, the offensive coordinator, comes in. Stowers, the tight end. A lot of New Mexico State players from some good New Mexico State teams came in here. But the key for Vanderbilt has been the football GM, and you're going to start hearing a lot more about these guys in upcoming years. Barton Simmons. He had been at 247 Sports for a while. He used to do shows down in the region like I did for many years. He was hired by Clark Lee as his football GM a couple of years ago, and it's him who has nailed almost every portal ad. And out of the high school recruiting, good too, but it's the portal where he has really nailed it. And this is not the old Vanderbilt. They can play with all these teams. I like Mizzou. I love Eli, but the rumor mill is going to start swirling for him too. Florida, he's going to be in the mix for that. So they're going to hear that at Missouri too. And Pribula has been making a few mistakes here in recent weeks, even though they skated through an Auburn in overtime at Auburn last week. I'm going to ride Vandy. I think this is a legit team. I think they could be a playoff team. We live in a world where Vanderbilt is a playoff team, perhaps. Go figure. That's 2025 for you. So I will take Vanderbilt.
Always the best information, Bruce. I love it. I would have never known that about the GM, and that is very interesting. What a perfect fit, right? 24/7 Sports. He knows all these guys. He's been following, covering them, has their stats.
That's the next thing that you're going to see these guys get. Jimmy Sexton's going to start representing some of these football GMs. The guy at Texas Tech, James Blanchard, has done a great job too. But that's the key. It's not just money coming into the programs. You need the right guy.
Absolutely.
Simmons is a great football GM.
We appreciate you joining us on Wednesdays. Best of luck to you this weekend and everybody else who's following the picks. Anything else to look out for? I mean, you did give us a lot of good information. And Ty Simpson, you're looking at him, but you also, Fernando Mendoza. You think it's coming down to those two for the Heisman?
Could be. I think Pavia could still get in the race too. He'd get my vote. We'll see. By the way, Champions League, a la Madrid today. I would do it on the spread against Juventus, and I would also go over the total, 3.5 goals. Eintracht Frankfurt and Liverpool. It's been a blitzkrieg of goals in every game Frankfurt has played, so over 3.5. And that one coming up in about an hour and a half.
Love it. Thank you so much, Bruce. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we've got whiteboard plays for you, and then we're going to wrap it up here on Sports by the Book.
Once you've satisfied your hunger, get ready for more of the hottest casino games in Vegas. Our 24-hour, 30-table non-smoking poker room proudly hosts all the most popular poker games with a variety of betting limits. Visit the poker room for a schedule of daily tournaments. Whether you're going to hold 'em or fold 'em, the best place for poker is at South Point Casino. You'll notice that our craps tables are usually the loudest in the casino. If you've never played, join one of our free craps lessons to find out what makes this game so exciting. Check with the craps dealer for schedules and give it a roll. Bingo is also an exciting way to spend your time. We offer 7 sessions of bingo every day. Bingo! And each session includes a cash ball jackpot, 12 bingo games, a progressive double action game, and a $10,000 bonus coverall. Electronic units are available. If you haven't played bingo with us, give it a try today. Guests can also get in on the action at our one-of-a-kind race and sports books. 2 separate rooms designed to maximize your experience and comfort. Our sports book, with over 400 seats, puts you right in the middle of the action, 24 hours a day. The friendly ticket writers are happy to help, and it's conveniently located next to the famous Lamar Deli, where you'll find supersized portions of delicious deli items like roast beef, pastrami, and Reuben sandwiches, or soups, salads, and pizza. Plus spectacular desserts fit for a king. And right next door is the race book. Over 150 seats, each with its own TV screen. There are 16 interactive player terminals, so you can bet right from your seat. If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry-aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone.
Another thank you to Bruce for joining us. I always love those Wednesday conversations and a lot of great information. I did add one of his plays for the Champion League on my whiteboard as well in case you missed it. But first, Ryan, we got to get to the trivia question and the poll answer, which I am dying to hear the results.
Let me unmute myself. Yeah, so I told you what the poll options were earlier in the show. We went with the Heisman Trophy, who you guys think the Heisman Trophy winner will be as of today. We gave you Fernando Mendoza, the current favorite at plus 340. The guy following him, Ty Simpson, plus 350. A little bit down the board with Marcel Reed at 10-1, and a little bit further, 14-1 with Dante Moore. No voters voted for Dante Moore. The runaway favorite is Fernando Mendoza, plus 340 to our viewers. So going with the Hoosier to win the Heisman Trophy this year. 69% of our viewers think Fernando Mendoza will be the one lifting the Heisman Trophy. So, yeah, JR with the Fernando Heisman-doza. There you go. But if we go to today's ticker trivia presented by City Light Shine, we got a hockey question for you today. On this date in sports history in 1966, hockey's first $1 million man, Bobby Orr, scored his first NHL goal in a game against the Montreal Canadiens. Which NHL trophy was Orr awarded twice in his career, in which he is the only defenseman in league history to win this award? That would be the league scoring title, which is called the Art Ross Trophy, not typically won by a defenseman in which Bobby Orr would be the one to win it twice. Orr is a two-time winner of the Art Ross Trophy. Had the most points in 1969-70 season and the 74-75 season, both of which were with the Boston Bruins. He's the only defenseman to win this award, and the award was first awarded in the 1947-48 season. So we are approaching 80 years of this trophy being awarded, and only one defenseman has won it twice, and that would be Bobby Orr.
That is wild. And he won it more than once.
Yes.
So the only defenseman and multiple times.
Yep.
Well, that makes sense. I had to Google that too to see if there were any other defensemen, and then you answered it right in the trivia. Yep. Okay, well, that's it for today's show, except for our whiteboard picks. So we will get to it. I am keeping it very simple today. I've got two plays, and then I am going to jump in with Bruce on Frankfurt and Liverpool going over 3.5. Who doesn't love taking it over? So I'm going to jump in there for some soccer fun today. And then my two official plays on this Wednesday. I'm going with New Mexico State at a pick'em here at home. Bounce back spot after that loss against Liberty last week. And I think that they can beat Missouri State here. And then I'm going with the Canadians. They are minus 125. And I'm going to do, as Ryan said too, split it up. Probably just go flat. So if you're betting 100, that's your unit. 100 to win whatever instead of going 125 to win 100. So I'm going to go flat there, and then I'm going to do half a unit on the puck line here, minus 1.5. Those are my plays today, and I'll throw it over to Ryan for his. Well,
I'm right there with you on two of those three. I like New Mexico State on the money line. I like the Habs winning on the money line and the puck line, and then I will also add in the Detroit Red Wings to do it in Buffalo against the Sabres. So pick them on the money line, minus 110, and then getting $2 on the puck line there with the road team.
Feels like a nice clean sweep day for us. Let's get it done here. Wow. And we're leaning to the over a little bit in Minnesota and Jersey, but nothing official. Thank you, everybody, for watching us, or if you're even catching the replay, we appreciate you. Please follow our social media pages at Sports by the Book. And remember, Instagram is at Sports by the Book LV. We'll be back tomorrow with Dwayne Colucci, of course, up at the Rampart. Excited to get his hockey and pony picks for the weekend. And then Friday, we've got a morning show at 10 a.m. as always, and Football Frenzy at noon with myself, Vinny, and Chris. I almost said Jimmy, but Jimmy is in Pittsburgh. We miss him there. Hello, Jimmy, if you are watching. Thank you, everybody, for watching Sports by the Book. I'm Alex White for Ryan McCormick. Thank you to the crew. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. right here, South Point Studio, Sports by the Book.